in total, they got $67,920 off just on the price of the house. We're looking at about $100,000
Yeah, that's
in
huge.
savings.
Cute, but like what we're gonna do is we're gonna follow our strategy and maximize for our people. All right, all right. Welcome back to More FLA Homes. If you're new to the channel, my name is Christian Clay. Alongside me is one of our real estate rock stars on the team, Miss Crystal. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. How are you, Christian?
I am doing excellent. We have a story for everybody out there on how our capped strategy, right? So we use the built method from start to finish, but when it comes to negotiating, we use our capped strategy to really unlock those incentives. And this little story is cool because those incentives actually help the person qualify for the home or feel comfortable with that payment. Take them home.
Yes. Yeah, that was a big deal for them of, the price range, the monthly payment that they wanted to be in. Sometimes, you're not really sure what total price of the home you're comfortable with because it depends on the interest rate and all that but everyone knows what monthly payment that they
Sure.
feel like they can handle. So, yeah, so first off this home, we went shopping, and one of the things she thought was very important to her was to have the spindle railing on the staircase. And, a lot of the builders do a half wall. So we focused on, I was like, we're going to get you what you want. We're going to see what we can do. So we focused on seeing the homes that had that. The issue that we ran into, even though they knew this is the neighborhood they wanted and the builder that they wanted, the homes that had that, either the office space was too small and the master bedroom was great, or the master bedroom was too small and the office was great. And she's like, this is not going to fit my furniture set. So I said, you know what? They were kind of feeling a little stressed over it. I said, let's take a step back. Let's just take a break. We'll do some more shopping later. Let's do some more research. You do not have to make a decision today because, of course, when we're there with the salespeople, you're finding out, oh, this weekend only we have this sort of deal and we have this. And I know, kind of what the patterns are and what we're able to get. So I said, let's take a break. So just a couple days later, her husband messaged me and was like, can we go back soon and see this floor plan? I was like, well, yeah, I've been in that home, but it's going to have that half wall. And he's like, well, I think the rooms are the size that we need. So let's go back. I said, okay. So we made a date and we went back, and they really loved the home. They loved the tall entryway. They love the size of the rooms. This home has a flex room downstairs and upstairs. So they have two flex spaces in the home. And they decided that the half wall was something that they could live with and eventually just change it, just knock it down, put up the railing. And that way she can choose the railing she wants and everything. So then we huddled up and we talked about what we needed to do to get this home where they needed it. And to be honest, this home had already been reduced in price quite a bit. We talked about, usually price is the last thing that we're going to get them to lower. So I wanted to make sure, okay, what are your incentives? What are you offering in closing costs? What else can we get in this house? And sometimes they epoxy the floors in the garage in these homes. Sometimes they don't. So we had the epoxy in the garage. We've got all the appliances, washer, dryer, fridge, blinds. All that is good.
How
Even
much do
though
you think that cost in upgrades? Just kind of off topic here. In upgrades, epoxy, appliances, window treatments, all of that stuff.
probably ten to $15,000 easily.
At least.
Yeah.
Cool. So good. You really, at least on the add-ons when we're following our capped strategy, you've done a lot.
Yes, yes. So we went through the home and negotiated all of those terms, and they said, we're going to give you 10,000 towards closing. We want to put you through
Did
this
you smile when
program.
they said 10 grand? Did you smile? Were you just like, cute, get it
I
out,
was
get
like,
it out, finish what you're saying so I can go?
we have a program available, and this is something good for people to know if they need to use it. They gave them a little extra time in the closing period because when these homes are built and they're ready to sell, they want to close in 30 days.
Sure.
But they gave them a little extra time to go through this program. They have to raise their credit score a little bit, and they wanted to get the 3-2-1 buy down because they were really liking the monthly payments those first 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, well, the third year, you're going to be locked in at that payment unless you refinance. So is that something you're comfortable with? And they were like, absolutely. But if we can have a lower payment the first couple of years, we would love that. Well, what it boiled down to was to really get that, they wanted extra money down on the loan when all was said and done. And that wasn't something we were going to do. So they ended up getting a 4.875 interest rate, which is still a great and below market interest rate. And we were able to get their escrow deposit decreased by a couple $1,000s to help them
Ooh,
lock
that
the
one could be
home.
overlooked by a lot of people. A lot of people may just like, okay, cool, what's next? What was the other thing? But really, like the builder wants you to put skin in the game. When you put that money down, you're either buying the home or they're taking your money. That's kind of the simplest way I like to explain that to everybody. So the less you put down, the less they could potentially take if some sort of unforeseen circumstance were to happen. All right, go for it.
That's right. So I knew too that the builder was not giving them the maximum that they could in closing costs. So we said, okay, this is our offer. We gave a little bit lower price than what they had, about $7,000 less is what
Okay,
we offered.
cool.
And we asked for the maximum and closing cost coverage that we could get. And they said, sure.
Why
So
not?
here
There
we
you
are.
go.
So in total, they got $67,920 off just on the price of the house.
Wow. Very nice. This is the level 3 home. They knew they wanted this builder, but they were kind of, and this is for everybody out there. You're probably going to deal with some sort of compromise. You know, the knee wall, the kind of half wall you're talking about with the spindles and the office space. There's going to be some sort of compromise in there. Sometimes you can do some of this stuff aftermarket. And, you know, if you need help with vendors, that's something that we'd like to help our clients out with as well. But something that really stood out to me here, Crystal, you did a really good job. Wait, hold on. Did you have more to talk about as far as like the incentive before I?
Well, I was going to say, if you consider the price of this home, and I know you know what the maximum is that the builder could give towards closing, and all those incentives, we're looking at about $100,000
Yeah, that's
in
huge.
savings
That
here.
is huge. That is huge. And that's you with your experience, right? The team with their experience, understanding what the builder has done before, understanding what they can legally do. You can kind of see past all of the little waving flags that they have where they're like, come get 10 grand off the home and we're going to throw in blinds. It's like cute, but like what we're going to do is we're going to follow our strategy and maximize for our people. But something that really stood out to me, what you said in the very beginning, right? You said when they didn't know and they're going through their compromises, to take a break, right? Take a break, think about it, don't rush. That right there shows the transparency that we can have with our clients. One of our pillars in our built method, transparent documentation. You were talking about the builders going through their spiel, right? And there's a few homes that they want to sell and they're really pushing those homes. They really don't have the incentive to tell the buyer if they go up there without any representation, why don't you go home and think about it? No, like what they're going to do is try to work their way into getting the home sold. And with us, we don't work for the builder. We're realtors. We're on our own team. We can help you with any home, any piece of land, any builder. And so we don't have incentive to push you on this. And Miss Crystal can say, take a break, think about it. Let's kind of recircle back around. Another thing you said with the 3-1 buy down, right? Is that what it was? The 3-1 buy down, 2-1 buy down, 3-1 buy down?
Yeah, it was like 2 years. Like the first year it was one rate, increase
Sure.
the second year,
Sure.
third year you lock in. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So the builders actually push that as an incentive too. Like, hey, look, you said you want your monthly mortgage to be at 2,500. Well, your first year is going to be 1,500 bucks. Why don't you just start now? Crystal's like, hey, look, let's not look at that. Let's look at year 3 and on because that's what you're going to be pretty much stuck with, right? So we have zero incentive to circle you in on what they're offering, and we can be transparent with you across the board. Those things stood out to me.
Thank you. Yes, it's very important. Thankfully, they were very comfortable with the payment at the interest rate they got. If they hadn't been, even though we were nearing the finish line towards closing, I would have been like, listen, you guys either have to fix this deal or we're going to go find something that works for them. But thankfully, they were able to get into the house that they fell in love with. I know that they're very excited. We helped them through the whole inspection process. And there were some things, even when I was walking through filming the home, they were on their way to go sign papers. And I'm calling the construction manager. I'm like, hey, you kind of missed this. This toilet's running kind of loud. He's coming back out there to fix some sprinkler issues they're having. Not everything was, you know, roses and perfect and
Sure.
everything. They got in, they called me one the first night. They're like, our water smells. Well, this was a spec home that was built and had been sitting for a while. So they had to run the water in the
Yeah.
house to clear out the pipes. They had
Yeah.
to clean out, empty the hot water heater. Stuff happens. But I'm not saying you're going to get $100,000 off the house that you call us and you want to go see, but we know where, okay, that epoxy is going to cost you on the garage floor when you move in. That's something's really important to you. It's not in this
Oh,
home you're
coach
looking at.
lights. Coach lights.
Yeah, we got the coach lights. Yeah, on the exterior. The
There
husband
we
was
go.
very excited about that.
Yes.
Yes, he wanted
Shout out
the
to
coach
you. Shout
lights.
out to our clients who watch our videos as well. But yeah, I know the coach lights was like a big deal.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they had the pre-wires there, but they
Yeah.
weren't providing the lights, and we asked for that as part of the offer, and they agreed to that as well. So when you call us, we know like, okay, these things are going to cost you money, and if this builder's not offering it, I know we can get it over here.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
That's a huge benefit of working with us from the beginning. Even when you're just thinking about coming down and looking at homes,
Yes.
give us a call. Let us start the process with you because we can be your eyes and ears in the market.
This cost our
So
clients $0, by the way. This is
yes,
subscribers of ours. It cost them $0. So it's a no freaking brainer, right? So make sure you
yeah.
send us an email if you do, team@morefla.com. I mean, I thought you did a stellar job on that. Obviously, it's going to save you a ton of money. Now, here's the thing for everybody out there. You get one opportunity to swing at your high offer. I would say your high offer, right? And if they say no to that, you can't start taking things away and adding more to it. So have some strategy in place when you put your offer together, right? Like we want to start with all of the bells and whistles that we're going to offer for. And if they say no, then we can retract some of that stuff. But you can't start, oh, they said no to our price. Let's see if we can throw this in there. That's a terrible way to negotiate out there. And with us, the strategy that we have in place, we take the emotion out, we huddle up, we maintain our buyer leverage, and then we submit our offer. So great
Mhm.
job. Great, great, great job on
We
that. Anything
love
else?
to save you. Yeah, we love to save you time and money.
Love, love, love. If you made it this far, do us a favor, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, what the heck are you doing? Catch you on the next one.